Hello and welcome to the paid weekly recap for the week ending May 30th, 2025. I'm Keith Harwood, CIO of Yellow Tunnel, and also pictured as Vlad Karpel, the CEO and founder of Yellow Tunnel and the creator of the artificial intelligence used for the paid trading system. Normal disclosures before we get started. Options involve substantial risk and are not suitable for all investors. Yellow Tunnel and myself are not investment advisors and not registered with the SEC or FINRA. The information in this presentation is for education and information purposes only and should not be considered trade advice. Finally, myself and or the team at Yellow Tunnel may have a financial interest in the securities presented and the trade ideas. Please take a moment to read through the rest of the disclosures and pause the video here if you need more time. Otherwise, we'll get into the market recap for this week. So the 10-year yield continues to just chop. General range seems to be broadly 4.3 to 4.5. As we press towards 4.6, there get to be concerns of inflation. Friday's PCE data seemed to help negate some of that concern. And when we get lower numbers, we tend to start thinking about an economic recession. Broadly, we are just chopping. Comfort zone seems to be around 4.4. We're trading 4.41. This is not a big concern level, nor is it a big comfort or increasing market price level. It's simply a level that the market is okay with. We're not really getting a dynamic shift in US bond yields here. Overall, maybe the big shift is going to come once we get something concrete on tariffs between US and China, but right now there's just a lot of chat about that. And speaking of that chat, the market impact is noise going nowhere. So we had the abbreviated week this week, Friday closing on the lows there, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, effectively closing near unchanged every day, right at the 10-day moving average, not pressing to new highs, not making new lows. We have support at 575. We have resistance at 595. We're trading 590, awaiting something to get us out of this range. It's not a long-term range, but it is a chopping short-term motionless move for us in the market. We are not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere fast. Tech did try to break out on Thursday after NVIDIA earnings and then faded right back into the range, traded back towards the low end of the recent range outside of the Friday poor trading behavior. And really, again, sitting at the 10-day moving average, waiting for something to trigger a confirmed breakout. What we had is a false breakout on Thursday and then a sit. The attempted court ruling to ban the retaliatory tariffs initially had a bullish response, and then it came out that we were going to just fight that, and then they said, fine, leave the retaliatory tariffs in place for now, and let negotiations continue. And negotiations continue, albeit slowly. Sounds like the negotiations between China and the US have kind of stalled, but now there's potential for meetings, and all this really means is we have noise. We're talking about all the things whether or not they're talking. And that's telling me there's a lot of nothing happening. And with a lot of nothing happening, we don't have a real trigger point to get higher or lower here. Something needs to happen, it seems, to get this market higher or lower. If we're trading at lows and nothing is happening, the market has a tendency to drift up. If we were trading at, the February highs and nothing was happening, maybe we'd be starting to shift back down. But we're not there. Right now, this market is going nowhere fast and looking for the signal, the true fundamental signal, to get this market bullish again. We got non-farm payrolls or bearish again. We got non-farm payrolls on Friday. Maybe that's a good impact on the economy, or maybe it's a negative. We'll see. If something comes out from the tariff negotiations, maybe that has a big impact. We shall see. Small caps continue to lag slightly here. Didn't press near the highs exactly. Really using that 100-day moving average, it seems, as a resistance level. We're having lower highs and higher lows in general. Not a lot of movement here. Small caps have been lagging. Looking for that to at some point potentially get some leadership, but obviously, when the market looks for bullish behavior, they tend to go growth, which means tech. And when the market's bearish, they seem to sell everything. So small caps just have this natural lag right now until something shifts on a fundamental perspective to make financials, healthcare, and the lot significantly better. That tends to impact small caps and domestic names more. And right now, it's just not there. Lack of news. So, all that really comes down to there's a lack of anything happening. The VIX is dropping. Maybe it should be lower given the recent lack of movement, but there's that expectation that something could happen at any time. And if that something happens to be bearish, we have a reaction like we did the prior week, where the VIX spiked to 25. And if that something happens to be bullish, then maybe the VIX can get below this support level around 17 and push back down towards the 14, 13 range, which creates great leverage for long biased positions on trending stocks. And right now, we just don't have a lot of trend out there. We don't have a lot of great setups this week. Now, I expect that to shift as this week plays out. If we do have a bullish week, we should have some good opportunities in the following week, but it doesn't look like we're going to have any signals this week for paid because of this market shock. All right, we have some stocks that have been very bullish, but they're very overbought. We have some stocks that have been neutral, but they haven't started into the bullish trend yet. And we have some stocks that are, of course, bearish, and those are not necessarily names looking to buy, not looking to catch a falling knife. So those trending stocks being overbought, the neutral stocks not getting a long signal quite yet, and the bearish signals not showing a bottom action yet mean that there's just not a lot of great opportunities out there for this week. But great opportunities are starting to show up. We are looking at a couple of interesting potential names for the second week of June. And frankly, with a lack of clear technical formation for the broad market and a lack of tailwind, this is probably a better opportunity to, kind of take it easy and evaluate some of these opportunities. And frankly, I think that's a great spot to go to the live trading room. And I've mentioned this a number of times before, but our live trading room, we talk about some of the other opportunities that are out there. Setups that may not necessarily need a bull run or a bear run to make a lot of money. And you can see that the performance has been very solid, and it continues to be solid as we look for these opportunities that don't necessarily need a directional move, but sometimes just need a lack of directional move. That doesn't always fit well for the more passive trader on a rules-based system, but it can fit very well for those that are looking for some market thoughts and looking for where the setups may start to trigger. If you have thoughts or questions about a certain stock that you think might end up setting up bullish or bearish in the near term, Vlad and I are happy to talk through what we're looking at for that signal to potentially generate and where the AI may actually trigger in it, or what the AI is saying right now. And frankly, I've looked at a number of stocks this week, and AI almost across the board was saying neutral, neutral, neutral for the short term because we don't have a lot of momentum for the broad market. So those neutral trades, though, we can still find opportunities in them. We'd be happy to talk through the option setups that work in those neutral setups. All right. Feel free to join us 9:15 to 10:15, 10:30 in the morning Eastern time, and 3 to 4 Eastern time for the closing bell. We are happy to talk about anything that you would like in regards to trading opportunity and trade setups. So please do join us. It's always a good time, and we have a number of very active people, and we often come up with interesting ideas based upon the questions you're asking. So I always urge people to join in. It's a good group, and we're happy to have more. And if you have questions and can't join us on those live trading rooms, we are always available via email. You can email me directly at keith@yellowtunnel.com or vlad@yellowtunnel.com. Happy to answer any questions you may have, and looking forward to maybe some resolution of this trend, or at the very least, maybe some new names starting into a bullish trend in the coming weeks. So keep an eye out for your inbox for those opportunities. Not looking at anything this week, but the following week, I think we're going to see some setups. So I'm excited about those, barring a major market meltdown, which the market currently is not really pricing in. So let's see if those new names can show up this week. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great week. And join us on that live trading room. Looking forward to everybody being there. Thanks again.